My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. I'm going to give you my favorite UnderDog Fantasy entry for UFC 293. If you don't know what UnderDog Fantasy is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say higher or lower than the numbers you see on the screen, and you can 20 times your money. It is the highest payout in this daily fantasy prop game space. And the only thing you need to do to play is get your free money and start clicking some buttons, and you can get that free money at wewantpicks.com/underdog. If you use promo code WWP, they will instantly match your deposit. If you give them $100, they'll give you 100. If you give them 50, they'll give you 50 instantly to start playing with. So go to wewantpicks.com/underdog, promo code WWP, get your free money and build yourself an entry. I am going to focus on UFC 293. That's what I do. That's what we do here. But this is every single sport. You have esports. I don't even know how that works, but you got football, soccer, baseball, all the sports. Football season starts this weekend, so go ahead, hop in here. You can mix and match sports, mix and match plays, and get that 20x payout. WeOnPicks.com/underdog, promo code WWP for the very free money. This is a tricky card because there's a lot of big favorites, a lot of people that definitely should win. But there's a lot of nuances, there's a lot of stylistic matchups, and there's a lot of things that could go either direction. For example, Alexander Volkov versus Tai Tuivasa. Alexander Volkov basically finished nobody forever, and then his last two fights finished both of those people. So I don't know. What's he going to do? Is he going to come in here, dance around, pot shot his way to a decision, which is who he was 2 years ago? Or is he going to come in here and just lay out Tai Tuivasa, who up until his last fight had a granite chin? So things like this 33.5 significant strike line becomes a little tricky. I do think I found my spots. I've got three different spots I like here. Manel Kape over a half a knockout. He probably does win by finish. I'm probably going to leave this off. Not going to touch it, though. He's fighting a UFC debut who's wild and comes forward and he's aggressive. So could this go the distance? I don't know. I don't know how tough that other guy is. We haven't really seen him have adversity yet, and Manel Kape is very good. So we're going to avoid the Manel Kape ones. We got the fight time, all of that. Justin Tafa is another one to avoid. 17.5 significant strikes. That seems like an insanely low number. He hasn't gotten to that number very often. He's winning fights in the first minute, 2 minutes, or losing them over the course of a decision. So it's very tricky to come in here and find these lines. Let me just speed up and go to the lines that I do like and the ones that I did find. We got Jamie Mullarkey, 59.5 significant strikes. I like the higher there. Let me read off the numbers. So Jamie Mullarkey, his last fight was a second-round knockout. He was knocked out in the second round, and he still got 40 significant strikes in. So if that fight continued to go a little longer, he would have gotten to this number. He's fighting John Makdessi. John is tough. Jamie is tough. Neither one of them really have, obviously they all have finishes, but neither one of them really have one punch end the night knockout power. So this will in all likelihood go to a decision. So if we look at Jamie's decision numbers, he got past it fighting Francisco Prado. 96 fighting Michael Johnson. If we go back to Faraz Ziam, he didn't quite get there, but it was a wild grappling fest. He basically got to this number in a second-round knockout over Devonta Smith. Jalen Turner, second-round knockout, he was going to get to this number as well. So point being, I think Jamie Mullarkey gets past the 59.5 significant strikes, and a lot of it has to do with this matchup. The next line I like. Where's our boy Jackie Jenks? Come on with it. Jack Jenkins. There we go. He's right above him. So I like Jack Jenkins. This is another one. I like the over 58.5 significant strikes. He's fighting Chepe Mariscal. Chepe is tough. We watched Chepe take some very big shots in his last fight and continue to come forward. Jack Jenkins does have stoppage power, but he's also been fighting to decisions, right? Once he's gotten to the UFC, fighting these higher level guys, he's fighting to decisions. 58.5 significant strikes. Let me read off those numbers for you as well. He has gotten past it in basically every single UFC fight. His last fight against Jamal Emmers, 59. Didn't fly past it, but he did get past it. And the reality was that fight was a much slower pace than this one's going to be. In the fight before that against Don Shainis, 82 significant strikes. So I think the Chepe fight's going to look more like the Don Shainis fight. I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth. It's going to be busy. It's going to be high paced. And I think Jack's going to let his hands go. I think he gets past this 58.5 significant strikes. The rest of these lines here on the pick'ems, I don't love. So we're going to head over to Rivals. What Rivals does is it takes two fighters who are fighting each other, and they're going to say who lands more. Significant strikes. It's Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya. Who is going to land more significant strikes? Obviously, the odds say that it's Israel Adesanya, so they give Sean Strickland a start, right? They said you can start with 26.5. Now who's going to land more significant strikes? So this means that Israel Adesanya, I'm going to take Sean Strickland. This means that Israel Adesanya has to land at least 27 significant strikes more than Sean Strickland for him to win in this entry here. So I'm picking Sean Strickland, meaning even if Sean Strickland loses this fight, which we all think that he will, as long as his strikes are within 27 of Izzy's, this will hit. And let me go through his fights. Izzy versus Alex 2. Didn't happen, meaning Izzy didn't land 27 significant strikes more than Sean Strickland. Izzy versus Alex 1, didn't happen. Izzy versus Jared Cannonier, didn't happen. Izzy versus Whitaker, didn't happen. It did happen in the Marvin Vettori fight. It did not happen against Jan. It did not happen against Yoel Romero. It did not happen against Whitaker the first time. It did not happen against Kelvin Gastelum. I mean, in Izzy's entire career, he has maybe landed 27 significant strikes more than his opponent 3 times. It's just not something he does. I think this is a very, very generous line, so I love that. I already have this entry built, but for math purposes, if you were going to throw $100 at this, well, you would 6 times your money. You would take home $600. If you do the insured option, which means you can get one wrong and still get paid, $300 is the payout if you get all 3, and then you get your money back if one of them misses. That's totally up to you, the risk you are willing to take. Rivals, you can get some very solid value in Rivals. For exactly what I just did, the Israel Adesanya strike line, I don't know. It's much harder to pick his strike line than it is to say he's not going to blow out his opponent. And then you can come through here. The rest of these I didn't like enough to touch, but certainly there are some spots, especially if you look at takedowns. Tyson Pedro, Anton Turkalj, we'll leave that one alone, but we got Chepe Mariscal and takedowns, 1 takedown more than Jack Jenkins. Frankly, I think that's totally fine. I don't think Jack's going to take down Chepe at all, but this is my entry for UFC 293. The most important thing here is go get your free money, and you can build your own entry. You can use it on other sports. You can do whatever you want with it. It's free money, and it is available instantly. Just go to WeWantPicks.com/underdog, promo code WWP. Take that very instant free money and build yourself an entry.